Your child will never look you in the eye and actively ask you for these 6 specific things. They do not have the vocabulary for it in their earliest years, and by the time they reach adolescence, asking for what they truly need from you often feels like the most terrifying and vulnerable thing in the world. But make no mistake, if they do not receive these 6 things from you consistently, an invisible, unnameable absence will haunt them, following them like a shadow well into their adult lives. These are not expensive toys, elite private schools, or the illusion of a perfect parent who never makes a mistake. Instead, they are 6 profound acts of love. From the moment they take their first breath, through the turbulent rebellion of their teenage years, and right up to the threshold of their independence, this silent hope runs through the entirety of their childhood. Today, we are going to uncover these 6 secrets that every child is silently praying for in the deepest corners of their soul. If you can provide these 6 things consistently over the long years of raising them, you will completely rewire the foundational architecture of their personality, giving them the ultimate armor to withstand whatever storms life throws their way. Whether your child is a newborn sleeping in your arms or a teenager who has locked their bedroom door and refuses to speak to you, these 6 actions never expire. Do not wait until they carry the unseen wounds of their upbringing into adulthood. Start right now and listen to the truest calling of their soul. The very first thing they desperately hope for is that when they call out, you will actually come. In those fragile early months and years, before language has even begun to form in their minds, your baby only has one signal to communicate with the massive, overwhelming world around them, and that is their cry. That piercing sound in the middle of the night is not an intentional interruption of your peace, nor is it manipulation. It is their only way of casting a lifeline into the dark, screaming to the universe that they need you, asking if you are there, begging you to please come. Everything that follows in the parent and child relationship, every single layer of trust, every measure of fundamental security, and every core belief your child develops about whether the universe is a welcoming or hostile place, is built entirely upon how you respond to that initial biological signal. When you come to them consistently and warmly, you are not just soothing a temporary physical discomfort, you are physically depositing something priceless into their rapidly developing brain. You are wiring their nervous system to believe that their needs actually matter, that their voice has power, and that reaching out to another human being in a moment of distress actually works. This expectation, laid down in the very first months of life, becomes the absolute blueprint for every single relationship your child will ever navigate. It becomes their internal working model, whispering to them that when they reach out in the dark, someone will be there to catch them. Decades of rigorous psychological study have proven this time and time again. The security of early attachment is one of the most powerful predictors of human outcomes across the entire lifespan. We are talking about emotional regulation, academic success, mental health, and the depth of their future romantic relationships. Now, it is crucial to understand that this absolutely does not require you to be perfect. Even the most incredible parents are only perfectly in sync with their babies a fraction of the time. The rest of the time is filled with missed signals, mistakes, and most importantly, the crucial repair that follows. What truly matters is the overarching pattern, whether it is a newborn's wail, a toddler's outstretched arms, or a teenager's silent, brooding presence in the living room. Just show up. The second thing they profoundly hope for is that you will actually see them, the real them, and not just the phantom child you expected them to be. Every single parent, long before their child ever arrives in the world, holds a vivid, detailed picture in their mind of who this little person will become. We imagine their temperament, we anticipate their personality, and we project our own life experiences, unfulfilled dreams, and deep-seated hopes onto this blank canvas. This is a completely natural, deeply human instinct. However, when the actual child arrives, and as they grow and unfold day by day, you will quickly realize that they are a highly specific, fiercely independent person. And quite often, they may bear absolutely no resemblance to the idealized version you created in your head. They might be significantly louder than you anticipated or painfully quieter. They might be far more anxious or terrifyingly reckless. They might possess a sensitivity that baffles you or a stubbornness that drives you to the edge of your sanity. The silent hope your child carries is that you will see them in all their specific, inconvenient, surprising, and unique particularity. The love a parent has for a child is so deeply entangled, with the hopes a parent has for a child, that truly seeing them requires a painful process of letting go. It requires mourning the loss of the fantasy child, so you can finally embrace the real one. Children who feel truly seen and accepted for who they actually are develop a far stronger sense of self-esteem and maintain significantly more stable mental health than children who grow up with the haunting sensation that their true self is somehow a massive disappointment. The specific human being standing right in front of you is not a rough draft meant to be edited into your ideal vision. Your job is to know them, cultivate a genuine, burning curiosity about who they are. See the loud one, see the quiet one, see the one who feels like a total stranger to you. You must see them first, and everything else will naturally follow. The third thing they hope for is that you will stay anchored when things get unbelievably hard. Inside every parent-child relationship, the child is constantly running a background test. They are not doing this maliciously or consciously, but the question is always humming beneath the surface of your interactions. Will this person stay when I am at my absolute worst? When I am being completely unreasonable? When I am throwing a massive tantrum in the middle of a crowded grocery store? When I am a teenager screaming the most cruel and hurtful things imaginable at you? When I fail miserably at something important? When I shatter your expectations? Are you still here? Is the foundation of our relationship still intact, or have I finally pushed you away? This is the ultimate, grueling test of unconditional love. We are not talking about the poetic concept of love. We are talking about the gritty, exhausted, lived experience of it. This test is never administered during the easy, joyful moments. It is administered in the trenches, in the heat of a furious argument. In the exact moment when walking away and withdrawing your affection is by far the easiest thing to do. Children who learn through repeated, lived experience that you will stay, that your relationship can and will survive their darkest and ugliest moments, develop a psychological armor called felt security. This is an embodied, unshakable, bone-deep sense that they are worthy of love not for their performance, but simply for their existence. Children who possess this foundation bounce back from adversity much faster. They are willing to take bold, necessary risks, and they recover from crushing failures far more completely. This does not mean you tolerate dangerous behavior without boundaries, but you must stay in the relationship. You must make it abundantly clear that your relationship is not a prize they have to earn with good behavior. It is an immovable fact. The fourth thing they hope for often feels completely counterintuitive to our fierce protective instincts. They hope you will love them enough to let them fail. From the very first moment your child attempts to do something difficult, their deepest hope is not what you think it is. In those moments of struggle and impending defeat, they do not actually hope for you to swoop in and rescue them. They do not want you to magically remove the obstacle. They are hoping for something much harder for you to give. They hope that you truly believe they can handle it. This belief is not communicated by hovering over them and offering hollow words of encouragement. It is communicated by your agonizing willingness to step back. It is shown when you force yourself to watch them struggle, when you bite your tongue and refuse to intervene before the struggle has had a chance to teach them a vital lesson. Stepping back is one of the most powerful, transformative developmental gifts a parent can ever offer. You are silently telling them that you believe they are capable of so much more than they currently realize. The deep-seated belief that one is capable is forged almost entirely through mastery experiences. It is built by standing face-to-face with something incredibly difficult, battling through it, failing, adjusting the strategy, and trying again until you survive it. Overprotective parenting, driven by deep love and anxiety, consistently acts as a thief, stealing these crucial, difficult experiences away from children before the experiences can do their necessary work. Let them fail at small things right now. Let the natural consequences land squarely on their shoulders. Sit with them in the dark, uncomfortable space of that failure, ask what they learned, and encourage them to rise and try again. A child who has failed and survived knows a secret that a perfectly protected child will never understand. They know they are fundamentally capable. The fifth thing they hope for is that you will respect them enough to tell them the truth. Far too many parents operate under the delusion that they can protect their children from the harsh realities of the world by wrapping them in comfortable, sterile lies. But a child's emotional radar is terrifyingly sharp. They sense far more than we give them credit for. They can feel the thick tension you insist is not there. They notice when you perform a fake emotion instead of feeling your actual sadness or anger. When what they biologically sense directly contradicts what you are telling them, it creates a deeply unsettling cognitive dissonance within them. It plants the seeds of a vague, lingering distrust in their own perceptions. Your child hopes that you will just be real with them. This does not mean burdening a young child with heavy adult problems. It means being genuinely present and age-appropriately honest. The parent who can sit down and say that they made a really big mistake today, that they feel terrible about it, and that they are currently trying to figure out how to fix it, is giving their child a masterclass in humanity. You are demonstrating that facing difficulty is a normal part of the human experience. You are showing them that uncertainty is something you can survive. You are teaching them that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a strategy used by highly competent people. Let them see you struggle with a problem, and let them watch you slowly recover. Let them hear you admit the terrifying words that you simply do not know the answer. Let them learn, simply by observing you, that a life well lived is not a fantasy life devoid of pain, but a life where difficulties are met with fierce presence, unwavering honesty, and the stubborn willingness to keep going. The sixth and final thing they hope for is perhaps the simplest, yet it is the one most tragically forgotten in the exhausting business of raising a human being. They hope that you genuinely enjoy them, not just love them. Love is the baseline. Love is the mandatory default setting. Enjoyment is an entirely different beast. Enjoyment is a tangible energy that your child can feel radiating from you from all the way across the room. It lives in the subtle way your facial features soften and light up the moment they walk through the door. It is the sudden, involuntary laugh that escapes your lips when they do something completely ridiculous. It lives in those precious, unstructured moments when you have stopped actively parenting, when you are not correcting their posture or guiding their moral compass. Children who feel deeply enjoyed by their parents develop a psychological armor that is the ultimate protective factor in human development. They cultivate a profound positive sense of self. It is a feeling carved into their bones that they are the kind of person who brings joy to others. They know that they are not a cumbersome burden or a stressful project to be managed, but a human being whose existence is a source of active celebration. This incredibly powerful belief is built in the microscopic moments. It is you getting down on the dirty floor to play a game that has zero educational value. It is the moment you physically put your phone in another room simply because what your child was babbling about was actually interesting to you. What your child takes away from those moments is a foundational understanding of their own worth. They walk away with an internal monologue that says they are someone worth enjoying, and that their parents do not just love them, but actually really like them. That feeling of being genuinely liked is the most lasting, bulletproof gift you can ever give them. Your child cannot tap you on the shoulder and articulate these complex emotional needs. But from the very beginning, in the wordless, desperate, and entirely real way that human beings hope for things they cannot yet explain, they are begging for these 6 things. None of this requires you to be a flawless superhero. It only requires your intentional presence. It requires your willingness to show up in the mundane, ordinary moments, deeply understanding that these ordinary moments are laying the bricks for a foundation that will outlast you both. Your child is not sitting in their room hoping for a richer, smarter, or better version of you. They are just hoping for you. They are hoping you will pay attention, stay present, and choose them over and over again in the small ways that accumulate into a childhood they will carry safely in their hearts forever. That is enough. You are enough. And they are just hoping you finally realize it. If this message resonated with you and made you reflect on your own journey as a parent, please hit the like button right now to support this content, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. We are here every single week, bringing you the powerful insights and guidance you need to raise resilient, deeply loved children. Let's navigate this incredible, messy journey of parenting together. See you in the next video.